Welcome to Toffee TV. It is live at 5 on YouTube. Get all your comments in and your feelings and your questions and whatever. Get them in now. Me and Ned. Baz is in Manchester. He's doing the overlap with Gary Neville and some fella from Love Island and whoever. I don't know who else is there, but he's there, living it up.
I'm just so happy with it. I feel like I'm in a different
So basically me and Ned went to IKEA today and we bought this huge shelving area and we've built it like men or women and we put it together and it feels like we've done something with our lives.
It just made me feel so proud.
Do you feel proud that you've done something?
Someone will walk in and go, "Wow, who built that for you? Did you get a joiner?" And I go, "No. We just did it with our fists."
With our hands, with our big hands.
Literally, we stood there just going, instead of using the sledgehammer, I was just going.
I thought you were amazing at fisting.
Putting the shelves together.
Personally.
Great at fisting.
That's what I already had heard that. But it only...
I've done this, I've done a lot of fisting myself. So I've got a lot of experience. I put a desk up last night.
Sorry, someone just sent me a message and it literally just made my jaw drop to the floor. And it's amazing.
Is the sound on?
No, someone sent me a message. I won't say it on air because I don't think it's fair to say it on air, but it's amazing. It's an amazing piece of news. If it comes off. And I really hope it does. No, I think the sound's fine. So basically what we've done is, anyone who's ever been to that in our studio, it's not only a small amount of people. It's just like we've put these shelves up to cut the room off, so it makes it like skewed. We've got loads of rubbish over there essentially. And this now creates the illusion when people come in.
That's my side of the room.
That's your side.
Office.
Well, you say that, you're only here once a week.
For 2 months, and then I'm back.
All right.
Back forever.
Back for good.
I'm basically taking a long 2-month trip, apart from 1 day a week.
Fair enough. That's fair enough.
We should have a sign here that says Ned this way, or welcome to Nedland.
Okay.
I think we should jump into some comments.
We'll get into the patron comments first, because, you know...
Marcus Cooper is number 1 today.
Marcus Cooper, that's amazing.
He's the new crowned number 1 champion. Evening, lads, just seeing that David Brooks has been diagnosed with Hodgkin lymphoma. Horrible news, hopefully. David Brooks from Bournemouth? Really?
Yeah, that's really sad news. He's only 24.
Great.
From Warrington.
Load of potential.
Rumour is he's an Evertonian. Someone that I've said for years we should have got.
Is he a Welsh international?
Yeah, but he's from Warrington.
Is he really? Well, I didn't know that.
And no, that's really sad. I think actually that's the same as what my sister's got. So, yeah, I mean, that's really sad. We send them our best because it doesn't matter who it is. To be fair, that's 24. That's So let's hope he's a young, fit man. Let's hope that he'll obviously get brilliant treatments. He'll get all the support from his club and the football community. And listen, we had Alan Stubbs. Alan Stubbs had cancer.
A lot of players had cancer and played foot. Look at Gutierrez at Newcastle.
People have had cancer and they've got through it and they've come back.
Played foot.
And hopefully he does the same. So we send them our best.
Gary Ward with his usual daily howdy.
Hello, Gary Ward.
Phil says, "Boom, not first." At least he's not said first and he's third like some others do.
It's good news.
Brian Garside says, if DCL and Richie are both fit, apart from Rondon, who gets dropped, do we go with 3?
Gordon and Rondon. It's dead easy. But
do you put Gray back out on the left?
No, you just leave him in the centre and let him and Richarlison work it out. But listen, that's if they are both fit.
Do you think both of them will play on Sunday? I don't know.
I'm saying nothing. I'm saying nothing. But I'm just saying nothing. That's all I'm saying. Nothing because, yeah.
Phil says, "Hi guys, hope you both well. Just a thought: if you could go to the edge of space with Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk, who you're picking? You can go to the edge of space.
Yeah.
Is that possible? Is that possible?
Well, you can go. See, there's different definitions of what space is, right? Some people declare space as being 60 miles above the Earth. Some people say it's 100 miles above the Earth. So I watched the documentary on Netflix recently, and it was they sent 4 normal people into space. Elon Musk, right? They trained for it. One of them actually was a girl who had cancer as a child, survived it, and now works in St. Jude's Hospital, very famous hospital in America, looking after kids with cancer. She went up, and it charted there how they got it, the training, going and coming back. They only went last month. And they went higher than the space station. So they didn't go on the edge of space. They were like in space. Jeff Bezos' rocket just basically goes. Branson's basically does the same. It skims the edge of space. So it would be Elon Musk. Because Musk is doing it. Musk has got a spaceship, a rocket that goes into space. And you orbit. These people, they orbited for 3 days. Bezos was in space for like 9 minutes. And I know William Shatner, so you know who William Shatner is, don't you?
The name rings a bell.
Captain Kirk. Out of Star Trek. You don't know who that is. Out of Star Trek. He's going up. 90 years of age. Fair play to him. Played a space captain for years and years. So if anyone sort of deserves to go, I'm sure he threw some money in. Good publicity for them. But it would be Elon Musk, because SpaceX, they are a company that send real astronauts to the space station. So it would be SpaceX, 100%. They know what they're doing. They'll be at Mars before anyone else.
I don't get the fascination with going to space.
Wouldn't it be horrible though, right, if your absolute burning ambition was to go to space? Because
there's nothing there. There's no Mackey's, no KFC, no Subway, no Burger King.
That's not why you go to places. Christopher Columbus didn't go.
There's no zoos.
Christopher Columbus didn't go, do you know what? He didn't go, I'm not going to America. They haven't discovered Mackey's yet. Because they hadn't. It's about going somewhere and doing something and explore. This is why you've only got as far as Chester as a man. The point of going somewhere is that you don't find McDonald's. When I go to America, I don't go to McDonald's.
We go to private places.
I go to places that are... I stay away from chains. And most of the time I go to like places that are owned by one person, because they're always the best places. And if I do go to a chain, it'll be like In-N-Out Burger, something that you can't get over here.
Chick-fil-A.
Because McDonald's are everywhere. They're everywhere. And yes, I will say, there are places I've been where you are walking around, you're starving, and you're a little bit like, I need something now, and you know you can run in and get a Mackey's. And, when I go to Paris, sometimes what we'll do is, dead late at night, we're walking back to the hotel, and there might be a Mackey's. And if you want a hot drink, or you do want like a little double cheeseburger, little snack, no problem with that, that's fair enough. But, Ned, as soon as you discover that the world is there to explore, then you'll love it. But if these fellas have got the money to explore space.
When do you think the first person to live on Mars will be?
15 years.
15 years?
15 years.
And you think it'll be Elon Musk to facilitate it?
Yes. 100%.
This is exciting.
But if it hadn't been for Challenger in 86 blowing up, I think we'd already be on Mars by now.
Do you think?
Because basically what happened was, when it blew up, horrible disaster, the space program just shut down for like 3 years.
A lot of people pulled funding out, didn't they?
And everyone just went, whoa, we need to stop. And then it happened again when another one blew up, but this time it was coming back to Earth.
It was the
discovery.
They did a lesson or something, didn't they, from space? So
they went to space. What they didn't know was when the rocket took off, something hit the underside of the rocket and it damaged the heat shielding. So basically when it was coming back down, the heat got in, blew it up. And then when that happened, basically they just said, we're not going back to space in these anymore. They're too expensive. And because what it was supposed to be was like a space bus. Supposed to be this space bus, which was going to be dead cheap. And you'd be going up and down all the time. But what they found was it wasn't dead cheap.
Well, if you go to the moon or Mars and you pop a tyre, but in space version, so you pop a
tyre.
You pop a wing.
But no one goes to space.
No one's gonna come out and insurance come fix me thing. I'm in Mars.
Yeah,
you know
that would be an issue, wouldn't it?
That'd be
Bringing the AA from Mars.
Exactly.
Would be an issue.
The space AA.
Space AA.
Popped a tyre on moon. Can you come change it?
Pop tyre on moon.
I'll be there in 4 days. You make what you can from that cheese.
This is what I have to put up with.
There was a long answer. So Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, 100%. He'll be on his company will be on Mars.
On
Mars before anyone else. I guarantee it.
Paul Taylor says, I saw the Instagram post of Richarlison that he put out. I can't see him being back for Sunday if he isn't doing full training with the rest of the squad. Looks like he isn't doing contact stuff yet. Dominic was on the pitch, wasn't he, before international break? He was on the green.
I'm saying nothing. But if anyone thinks... I'm saying nothing. Put it this way, right? Everton feared Richarlison's injury was like half the season. That's how bad it looked. And what makes it worse is that dog who done it, nothing happened to him and nothing's done since. You think what happened to Jordan Pickford and what happened to Van Dijk, right? Same thing happened. Not that I want it to be every single day, like, oh, it's a disgrace. But it shows you the power of the media. People are still talking about Van Dijk now and what Pickford had done to him. What Tarkowski done to him was...
He'd done him.
He'd done him.
Game plan,
he knew exactly what he was doing.
Go do him early.
And Richarlison now is struggling because of it. But because it's Everton, pathetic. That shows you the media.
We've got Gordon anyway.
But
after United. Phil says, I put myself through watching that rubbish last night. International football should just be scrapped or just do knockout football at tournaments, forget qualifiers. The same teams go through all the time, should have Nations League type tournaments over 3 weeks between domestic season for all the poorer nations.
Yeah,
Scotland.
like...
Did you hear what Courtois was saying?
Yeah, he said they weren't robots, didn't he?
Interesting that.
Go on, what did he say?
About, was it game congestion internationals or something? Is he basically hinting at scrap league football and just let us play 10 games a season?
No, I think what he was saying was,
what
he was saying was, why on earth are we playing a third place playoff for the Nations League? That's what he was saying. He was saying the game he was playing in was pointless. There was no need for it. That's what he was saying. Because ultimately, there wasn't any need for it. You only need a winner. That's all you need to... And you find out the winner by two teams playing each other. Who cares about third place, fourth place playoffs? Nobody cares on it.
They could make that up by a goal difference.
Exactly.
You scored more goals.
You can say you scored more goals in it. You did. You're third place then. If you really need... You don't need another game. And that's what... The problem is that there's just no... You look at some of the teams that they play. England have lost 2 World Cup qualifiers, I think, in something like 19 years or something like that at Wembley or whatever it is. The Dross should play each other first, and they should play. Then they should have to qualify for the qualifiers. Essentially, in my eyes. And I know Andorra. Put it this way: Andorra beat San Marino last night 2-0. I think. So how long have San Marino been playing in World Cup qualifiers? Years and years. Andorra, I don't think have been playing that long and beat them 2-0. But
it's like domestic competitions. Premier League don't go in round 1, do they?
No. If you did that, right? If you had qualifiers for the lesser teams, and those nation leagues could be used. That nation league could be used as the qualifiers. Right? If you win your group, you go into their group, and then what that would mean is that might cut like 2 teams.
It's a chance for teams that might not get through just going straight into the qualifiers and playing England.
But what that means is that could be 2 less games for England to play, right? And those 2 games could be the next international break. So you don't have that international break, and that means we have 1 less midweek game for Premier League teams. So that means there's more rest during the week, and that's all it would take. Let's say you cut out 4. Let's say you cut out 2 international breaks a year. The Premier League teams then could have a week between games, or they could have a longer winter break.
Yeah.
something like that.
Get rid of that Boxing Day to your New
Yeah,
Year's
I know,
Day.
and I've said this a million times.
3 days and 5.
And I know a lot of people
games,
love it,
3 games.
but I hate Christmas football. It's rubbish. It's rubbish.
It's cold. You play a game and you got 1, 2
We'll put it
days
this way,
later.
right? If you have injury problems over Christmas and there's 4 games in a week, you've had it. You've absolutely had it. If you have a bad run over Christmas. So for me, I'd play the game before Christmas, then I wouldn't play again till New Year's Day. It'll never happen. I know it'll never happen. Or at least, if you're playing on Boxing Day, don't play again till New Year's Day and have a week. Because they aren't robots. And the games then become, people, I love it, but the games are rubbish.
The one on the 28th always is, you have your Boxing Day one, the 28th is always crap. It's always like 0-0s and 1-0s in it, because everyone's just legged. Yeah. Maz says, you saying nothing means Circle of Trust info on Richie and DCL. No Circle of Trust on Wednesdays.
I'm just saying nothing.
Robert says, was your message a Circle of Trust? I'm saying nothing about their fitness.
I'm saying nothing.
Daniel says...
I'll tell you more tomorrow on Patreon.
Daniel says, thoughts on Luis Campos being linked with a role at Newcastle. Him and Galtier were my choices during the summer before Rafa came in. Can't lie, I'd be pretty gutted if they came in and did a good job there. Campos is like one of the greatest sporting directors over the past.
I thought they were going for Ralph Ragnick.
So did I, yeah.
Do you know what the problem when you said this before?
But he's not had a manager job since
Newcastle, these new owners of Newcastle, right, did not know they were taking over this week. They didn't realise that deal with the TV thing was getting done. They thought it was going to be next year, and they've got nobody in place. The last time they thought it was going to happen, apparently they were trying to get Rafa Benitez back. But this has caught them completely cold. So they've got nobody in place to take over. So everything you hear is just, there's been linked with Brendan Rodgers, Frank Lampard, Rafa Benitez. They'll be linked with all kinds. We did a video about it yesterday on Twitter, and basically what we said was, they should just take the time. And that wasn't us being like, just take your time. It was like, they should just take the time, because if they don't, they'll just do what Everton did. They need to have a proper plan, because I personally don't think you can do what Chelsea and Man City did. I don't think you can do that anymore. I think you have to build it up. They've got the money to get everything right. Scouting, getting another club somewhere. They've got everything, but it's not going to happen overnight, so they might as well take the time and do it properly.
I think you should wait. Get Gerrard. He'll bring them back up to the Premier League next season.
I think Gerrard...
after they get relegated.
I think Gerrard would be a great...
And they'll be like, he just won the championship.
I think Gerrard would be a great show for Newcastle. He fits them perfectly. They're all words. Ahmed says, I'm waiting to be crucified for this comment, but I actually have a tradition that I visit McDonald's in every country I visit. Obviously, I'll eat the local food and experience the culture, but it's like a weird custom of mine. Well, it's like, they're all different, aren't they, every Mackey's? How do you know?
Because you told me.
I have, Ahmed, I'm not going to crucify you, mate, because I've done that loads of times. I think I've told this story before, but when I went to Florida in 2002, sorry. This is going to sound so stupid. We were in International Drive, which means nothing to you. We were in International Drive, and told you International Drive in Orlando is a road full of hotels and restaurants. We were staying in this hotel, and the new series of Angel was starting. So Buffy, Angel, love it, right? No, don't. I'm a nerd. Don't give a monkeys. I love Buffy. Buffy's like one of my favourite programs ever, and Angel. And it was the first episode of Angel, but it wasn't coming on in the UK for like another 3 or 4 months. So me and my missus were like, right, we're watching that in our hotel room tonight. So we went over to Mackey's, and we just literally bought, I think, the £1 menu, all of it, the $1 menu. And then we come back and we just stuffed our faces and watched Angel.
You've gone full Matt Stoney there.
No, we just went over and just bought everything. And because there are different things, and because the drinks are honestly, you need like a trailer for your drink. Because it comes, no, have you ever seen Super Size Me?
Don't think so.
It's a documentary about this guy who eats Mackies.
Oh, for a month?
For a month.
Oh, yeah.
And every time they say, do you want to supersize it? He goes, yeah. And at the end of it, he's got like liver failure and all kinds. We were like
kidney failure.
We were like that. So like we had all kinds, and we went over in the hotel. So yeah, you know, when you go to, if you ever go to Disney in Paris, there's a Mackies in the Disney. So you can eat in the park, and it's like you pay like £8 for chips, or you can just go to Mackies on the downtown Disney outside. So yeah, it's not like I don't eat Mackies. I just try and stay away from them when I go on holiday because I like to go to places that are different. So I've got no problem, mate. I won't crucify you for that.
Carl says the tackle on Richie and the lack of action is awful, but also why aren't the club making a bigger deal of it? Both with the FA and with the media, it feels to lack of balls too often.
Well, let's say if Richarlison misses this week's game, right? If I was someone from the club, if I was the manager, I would be in that press conference on Friday making it known why he's still out, why he's been out for a month. I'd make that known. Why did he miss the game for Brazil? You know, I'd make it known. Get Neymar on the bounce. You know, they couldn't beat Colombia the other night. I'd say, well, no, who's to blame? Tarkowski. That's why. I'd make it known.
I'd blame Yerry Mina for being such a class centre back and hard. You see him giving Neymar the L.
Yeah.
One then.
It's classic though, classic Yerry.
Let's do some YouTube ones. Joe says hello from me and the missus. Hello.
Hello. Show me your cars.
As you do. Peter says, do you reckon the Geordies are going to try and nick any of our better players and also now another team to compete with the transfer market? But if they do, we know they've got money to burn, so we'll say, yeah, 150 million, please. There you go.
Because they haven't got money to burn, though. That's the other thing.
But they're not allowed to spend the money.
They haven't got money to burn. That's the other thing about, right, they've got money, and this is what I'm saying, they've got money, but they haven't got money to burn. Again, it's laying...
They've not spent though, have they, for the past few years?
But they're still in debt because of COVID and everything. You got to think about it, like, you got to think about laying the lessons that, like, if you're a club, yes, they could go out and buy the same kind of players we did, but where does that get you? You've got to build a team, and that's where, yes, they will be competing now with they'll be competing for players with us, good players.
Stuart says Ned is intimidated by Gary Neville.
Am I intimidated?
I like Gary Neville. I think his political stances.
If anyone watched our Patreon show yesterday, we dedicated 20 minutes to Gary Neville becoming an MP, basically.
Did you see him on this morning? Brilliant, wasn't he?
He's brilliant.
I'd have him up for Labour leader. Him or Big Andy. Stephen says, think Ramsey would be another bad buy for the wages he'd cost.
I don't see Ramsey coming to Everton. I think it's an easy link. Of course it is. It's an easy link that we get linked with these players all the time. I can't see it happening.
I don't think
he doesn't fit our wage bill.
I don't think he fits into the team, to be honest.
No, I do think he's a good player for anyone who's Welsh who watches this will tell you how good he is.
He's a good player.
He's a good player, and I think he would fit into our team because he's mobile, he gets around the pitch, he's a bit injury prone. But,
he's versatile as well, isn't he?
But his injury record plus his wages would suggest that
he's like 30 as well, isn't he?
Would suggest that he wouldn't be a good fit for us.
James Dunlop, all right lads, I hope you're both well. Hello. Tommy Tucker says, just me or international breaks the most boring, pointless waste of time.
Yeah, I'll be honest, right, and again, I've said this loads of times. Because we do this job, I like international breaks. I like a weekend off now and again. Because to me, football is stressful because of what we do. So I do enjoy an international weekend. I do enjoy a weekend off football now and again. We've got one more to go. And then we've got solid football for November, December, January, February. So we'll have like 4 months nearly of solid football then week in, week out. It'll mostly be Saturdays, Sundays for us. But I do like those breaks. Because and listen, everyone's different. But I like to just have a weekend away where I know, no, this weekend, I don't have to worry about like doing videos and stuff like that. So it's different for us. It's certainly different for me and different for Baz. Baz was supposed to go away the weekend, but because he was sick, he couldn't go away. So it's just like little things like that for us. It's not just, it's work for us as well. So I do like them, but I understand why people don't. Because people's lives revolve around football like ours does. But I am a bit of an oddity. I do like the break.
Sol says there's no Toffee TV in space.
Why isn't it?
That's true.
Why isn't it?
Maybe I should give Elon Musk a bell.
Why isn't it?
Elon.
I'm pretty sure you can get YouTube in space. You can get the internet in space. Of course you can.
No, like, can you get Toffee TV
Why could
in
you
space?
Why couldn't you get? Why couldn't you get YouTube in space?
I never said that. Sol said that.
We're not physically in space, but we're not physically in.
We could be.
America,
though.
are we?
Imagine Toffee TV live stream from Mars. I'll give Elon a Musk and go.
Do you know what the problem with that though? The show would have no atmosphere.
Ned said. Name says, yeah, there's just stars and planets and black holes instead. Ned, not as interesting as a Big Mac.
No,
I mean, I wouldn't go near a black hole, to be honest.
You couldn't go near a black hole.
Exactly.
You couldn't go physically near a black hole. You wouldn't get. You understand what a black hole is, don't you? The black hole is at the centre of our galaxy, right? And slowly, very, very slowly, it is basically just sucking everything in.
Is that the Stephen Hawking theorem?
I don't know.
Did he create the black hole theory?
So a black hole, right, is something that's so dense that its mass is just it's impossible to get out of. And it's called a black hole because even light can't escape it. So light is getting sucked into it, right? And slowly everything will be sucked into it. And it's the centre of the galaxy. So eventually, because we're going round on this we're going round the sun, and the sun is going round that, and slowly the black hole. So the Milky Way is what the sun. So slowly, our solar system is just going round, and slowly everything will be drawn into the middle, and we will just go.
The Milky Way.
I mean, this is basic science.
Basic science is like.
Why are you laughing at basic science?
Gravity. Basic science isn't black holes. That's like PhD science. Basic science is like, I breathe oxygen, you breathe oxygen, we're humans. Let's look for some.
Do you think only humans breathe oxygen?
We're alive. Although the coral breathe oxygen because they're just plants, but they're alive.
But they're underwater.
That's a good point. Yeah, there's oxygen in water.
No, just.
Prince Rupert says Courtois is a Real Madrid player. He has the power to get teammates together and put a real power into what he was saying.
Does he though? Do footballers really have the power to do anything?
They have a limited power.
As I said, do they though? Because I don't know. Something will change soon. And that's what they were trying to do with the Super League, essentially. They were trying to break the wheel, weren't they? They were trying to break it so that the Super League teams would go and do their own thing, and it'd be less games. Let's see what happens.
I'm just trying to find Everton comments. Here's one. Steve P69 says, Delph is easily the biggest joke that's ever played for Everton, let's be honest.
I mean, there are others. He's not
like a.
He's not a favourite, is he? Let's be honest. He's not. You know, I have sympathy for some play. I have sympathy for Gbamin on the injury front. Lad was never injured till he signed for Everton, and then suddenly gets a bad injury, but then gets an even worse injury afterward. The second injury was much worse. First injury wasn't a problem. No problem, but the second one is the kind of injury which some players never ever fully get over.
And then a third. I
know, but the third was not, it was only a bang on the knee. The second one was the kind of one that you have to be very careful with, and I have sympathy for that. But Delph, I have less sympathy for. And that's all, again, that's all I'm going to say. The sooner, when we get to the end of the season and we have no Delph, and we have no Tosin, and we have no and we have no John Joe Kenny. So there's 4 players there, right, who do not play games of football for Everton.
A lot of wages as well.
That is a hell of a lot of wages.
Tosin and wages.
That's a hell of a lot of wages, right? So there's 4 players. You get rid of those 4 players who do not play football for Everton Football Club. And then you give those wages to maybe 5 players or 6 players.
The wages Delph and Horror will get you about 4 or 5 players. Yeah.
And Tosin. So those 4 players, if you were to take their wages and give them to 6 players, and those 6 players do play or are on the bench who help the team one way or another, you elevate your squad. You get a new right back. You make Seamus your second choice right back, your first choice right back. You get another centre midfielder who's competing with all the other centre midfielders, like a Decore type, but younger. You get another centre forward in. Suddenly you make 4 players who don't play into 6 players who will play or are going to play every week. That's where our squad then goes up, and we learn the lessons from the last 5 years.
In terms of right backs, Martin Carter says Patterson looked good for Scotland last night, put in an excellent cross for the winner. Sign him up. I mean, that tells me that he can get up the pitch, and if he can get up the pitch,
yes,
he's 20 now, isn't he?
I seen the goal, and it was a decent ball. It wasn't a perfect ball because actually it hit the defender and then it hit the centre forward and went in. Patterson, I imagine, is what the kind of player they're looking at. Someone who works hard, can get up and down, and they can make better, coach into something. 20, good age. No, number 1 is, will Rangers let him go?
Well, they've got their best player, probably their right back, isn't it? Tavernier,
who's their captain, who's their right back.
He's in his
with enough money,
now, so.
For enough money, they'll let him go. The thing about it is, though, is what they want and what we offer have to be around the same. We tried to get him on the cheap in the summer because we didn't only have a limited amount of money. Will we go back for him in January and say, right, come to us now, you become you are our backup right back, but you'll get games because Seamus is not going to play every week. And we develop you, and then next season you become hopefully our starting right back. That's the carrot. That's the carrot that you dangle. We'll wait and see. I don't know. I don't know whether that's going to happen or not. I don't know whether they're going to go back for him. But I imagine that's the profile of player they're going to be looking at. John Joe Kenny will, obviously, if they don't offer him a new contract, which doesn't look like they will, he'll leave and he'll go. And you bring in a young player who you can develop and take over from, and you dovetail it with Seamus. Seamus is coming to the end. This is a young lad. And you get the crossover right. Hopefully that happens, and whether it's him or not, we'll wait and see.
Maybe we can send John Joe on loan there in January, and then we'll see how it is.
Well, he's already played for Celtic, and he was crap there. So
yeah, so they can't not dislike him that much if he was crap. Last of Corinthians says best restaurants in south of Liverpool, Ped.
I'll be honest with you.
I
don't go to a lot of restaurants in South Liverpool because I go mostly into town. If you like pizza, Crust in Walton Village is lovely. There's a place in Chilwell Abbey Road or Chilwell Triangle, which is like a Turkish barbecue place. There's also one in West Derby Village. It is very expensive though, very expensive, but it's really, really nice. It's called Macro or Macrun, something like that. If you go on their Instagram, there's loads of footy players go there. Jared Brantwaite and
where's Hickory's? Because you said there was one in Liverpool.
No, there isn't. I didn't say there's one in Liverpool.
On the Wirral.
That's in West Kirby. Hickory's is beautiful. But I go to town, into town if I'm going to a restaurant, and I'm not someone who goes to a maze. If you like pizza and you go to town, or is Amelie beautiful.
Mackey's.
But the thing about it is, though, you go somewhere like Amelie, lovely pizza. You won't be paying too much more than you would for Mackey's if you buy, and if you want something to fill you up.
To fill you up, you have to
Mackey's doesn't fill you up.
You have to go 4 meals, haven't you?
Yeah.
Cam's been telling me to go Black Horse and Walton.
It's a pub.
He said they do pizzas and stuff, I think.
Pub.
Jordan Parsons, I don't understand how people say Squid Game is the best show ever.
Boss.
When Breaking Bad exists.
It's
not as good as Breaking Bad.
But Breaking Bad's not as good as The Wire.
I've not seen The Wire.
That's just like common sense. And no, I don't think anyone's saying Squid Game's the best show ever. It's just a really good show.
It's thrilling.
It's just a really good. Have you finished it?
Yeah.
It's just a really good show that is out right now. So a lot of people are hyped about it. It's not the best show ever, of course, it isn't. But
the voice acting.
I'm doing a rewatch of Band of Brothers. I mean, if you want to talk about best shows ever, 10 episodes of pure, unadulterated class, then Band of Brothers is amazing. But Squid Game is probably one of the best things out at the moment. It's only been out, 2 weeks? I would recommend it to anyone. Also, if you're going to watch it, don't watch it with the dubbed English. Watch it with the subtitles. You definitely watched it dubbed, didn't you?
I was going back and forth and I couldn't decide which one I liked more.
Watch it with the English subtitles, right? And read. And your mind will what happens when you read subtitles is your mind just thinks what they're saying is what you're reading. And the next minute it takes over and it's a bit more cultural.
Yeah, the voice acting was terrible.
But that's why you thought it was rubbish, because you watched it in English. That's why. I watched a bit of Money Heist in English after I'd watched it in Spanish, and it was terrible. The voices were all like squeaky. Where like when you watch it in Spanish, they're all like deep voiced, you know.
Money Heist Spanish?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, what did you think it was?
I don't know.
Because you haven't watched it.
I thought Money Heist had like...
Lupin is another one. I watched that in French. Because it's French. You got to watch it. Like, if something comes from France, or something comes from South Korea, or something comes from Spain, got to watch it in the original tongue.
Oh, what's that Spanish horror that was on Netflix? I watched that in Spanish. Veronica. That was really good in Spanish.
What was that about?
So basically this schoolgirl and her schoolmates do like a Ouija thing.
A Ouija board?
And then she gets haunted by it. It's a true story, they say.
It's a true story?
It's based on a true story.
Based on someone's...
Whether it's mythical or...
Someone's story, yeah. Okay. But I believe it.
That was really good, though. Really well received, that as well. I should watch that.
Sounds amazing.
Matthew Barry says, "Evening, lads. Hope you are well. Regarding the Richarlison injury, the standard off refereeing is so bad in the PL now. I won't be surprised if a manager takes his team off the pitch in reaction to the awful decisions being made. Little to no protection of the players."
Disgusting.
Did you see Mbappe's goal against Spain?
Yes.
Do you know who was...
Yes,
that goal, that was clearly offside.
English referees.
It's Anthony Taylor.
English referees. English VAR.
Because they don't know the rules of the game.
They're the worst.
3 yards off,
said this, yeah.
3 yards offside when he played the ball.
Like this on Patreon. The reason why England got so far in the Euros was partly due to the fact they never had to deal with an English referee. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
They're awful.
Maybe Wembley could come into play, but I'd say probably the referees was more important.
No.
Degsy says...
I'll message you back, by the way. Sorry, I've totally forgot. I need to message you back.
Degsy says, "Hi lads and hello Gary. Sorry late clocking in today. Liking Ned's top." Thank you.
Well, they come in hoodies, t-shirts and mugs.
Different colours.
And different colours. And also...
Available now, links in the description.
Also that as well. Our rainbow one. They're available. Links in the description. Go and get one. Get a mug.
Get
a mug, a hoodie or a t-shirt, and there's 3 different styles.
It's getting cold now. I'd get a mug.
Yeah.
For me
brew.
Drinks and a hoodie.
Okay.
Or I'd get all the t-shirts and wear them all at once. So I've got like multiple layers. Keith Powell says Newcastle must look at Everton's last 5 years record and not make the same mistakes. It will be easy to do if you like shopping. Not so easy to set up a plan so soon when you're 19th in the league and deep trouble.
Thing about it is though, with Newcastle, just from that point of view, they need to bring in players in January who are going to be able to get them out, which is a centre-back. Tarkowski's being talked about. Imagine we had to play against him 3 times this year. He's been talked about. They need a goal scorer, someone who's going to score goals on a regular basis, and maybe a couple more. They could get loans and a couple of deals through easily in January that would bolster their squad. Just to do that, just to keep them up, because that's their goal now for this season. Keep up. Manager be another thing they need to look at.
They've already been linked with like Coutinho.
Yeah.
Who's doing nothing.
Yeah, they'll get those kind of players.
You mentioned Tarkowski last week, didn't you?
The Tarkowski.
He's only got 6. In January, he's only got 6 months.
And they'll offer him a brilliant deal. So they need a short-term. They need short-term stuff and long-term stuff. That's what I'm saying. Get your short-term stuff in to keep you up.
Get Big Sam in.
And then go long-term with your overall picture.
Phil says if you could send an Everton player into a black hole, who would you pick? Del's not allowed as he's been in one since he signed.
There's already one in a black hole, isn't there? Not saying anymore.
Keith Powell says, hey Ped, what does your missus think of the ex-health secretary, cheat and corrupt a-hole Matt Hancock going to Africa as a UN special envoy to sort out the COVID-19 virus? Sure, you've both mentioned it over breakfast at least. As they say, do you have breakfast at the same time as Sam?
We do not have breakfast at the same time. I have breakfast about 4 hours after my missus.
When she's having a tea. As they say, positions of political office comes with massive personal monetary gain.
He's an MP and he's doing that. We talked about this yesterday, mate. How MPs can have second jobs is beyond me. Beyond me. Shouldn't be allowed. Should not be allowed.
Lee Tysdar says, is the Hickories in Southport still there? Some gaff that.
I think it is, but I've never been. I've never been. But I believe it is. There's one in... We tried to get him in Chester last week, and they wouldn't let us in. There's one in Chester, there's one in Ross-on-Sea.
We could have got in, though, if John just bought it.
John should have
He just pulled it out and got, I'm buying
West Derby, West Kirby, and West was one Death Star. I'd never be out of it.
West Derby.
And Southport, I think. And it is lovely.
I'm going to have to go.
I was gutted we never got in last week.
I like me meat. Carl says... Hey, what do you think of the Labour MP Claudia Webb found guilty of harassment and threatening to throw acid over another woman? Not my kind of party. She should apologise when our Prime Minister apologises for...
Oh, we are. William Shatner has gone into space.
Right now?
Just gone. About 10 minutes ago. Fair play to you.
Should have gone outside and gone. Are you the fellow with the really pointy ears?
No, that's Spock who's dead. Yeah, I've just read that piece. Yeah, that's not very nice, is it? So basically, she was threatened someone who she thought was having an affair with her husband, basically.
It's not good, is it?
So that's like, yeah, it's not nice, is it?
I don't know, the Lorraine and Angela, whatever their second names are. That Lorraine was cool last week, threatening Boris.
They've gone shite.
Gary Ward says, isn't Keir Starmer got a... Wasn't he given a thingy by the Tory Labour Party?
The Tory Labour Party?
The Tory Party, Conservative Party,
He's knighted by he's Sir Keir Starmer.
By the Conservative Party.
Say no more, mate. Say no more.
Gary Ward says, I rewatched From the Earth to the Moon last week, Boss mini-series. I'm right in that
Tom Hanks, isn't it? Tom Hanks mini-series. He's done it just after he's done... Have you seen Apollo 13? The fact that you have to think about that is the answer.
Is that the one where they have to ring everyone and say, oh, we're not coming back? And they basically have to say goodbyes because they're in space and they're about to hit a meteorite? Or is that Armageddon? Apollo 13 is where Tom Hanks goes to space, isn't it?
You've just compared a film starring Bruce Willis where they fly onto an asteroid.
Oh, yeah, that's Armageddon, isn't it?
Ben Affleck.
Which one was Apollo 13?
Where they're going to blow it up and then get off and fly back to Earth with a true story about 3 fellas going to the moon.
Houston, we have a problem.
Something blows up on it, and they have to get back to Earth.
Is that the Houston we have a problem one?
Yes, you just compared those 2 things together. And I don't even think you were thinking about it. I think you were thinking about Deep Impact as well. That's the worst thing. You weren't even thinking about Armageddon. You were thinking about Deep Impact.
Which one's Deep Impact?
Which is even worse.
Deep Impact's, I believe...
It's not. Is that
the one where the water just goes at the end and floods everyone?
Yes.
I don't think I was thinking about Deep Impact. I was thinking about some...
Stop saying Deep Impact, because when you say it, it seems weird.
When you said Deep Impact, I thought of Dante's Peak.
I was thinking of something else.
I was talking about a volcano.
You and fisting.
I don't think I've seen Apollo 13.
Okay, so Apollo 13, true story. Tom Hanks, they go into space. Something blows up and they have to get back to Earth. So after he made that, he decided he was going to make a documentary series thing about how they got from being like nothing to going to the moon. It's a brilliant documentary. It was made in the 90s. It's very, very good. There you go. We got there in the end. I just can't believe you just compared the true life story with fellas with
Is that what
the fella from the
is?
Green Mile going into space, blowing up the Russian space station as well while they're there.
Tom Hanks is from the Green Mile.
Synergy, connections.
Who's the other one from the Green Mile in Armageddon? Bruce Willis in it, Armageddon.
Yeah. He's not in it though, is he?
Rumi De Sosa says, speaking of Tom Hanks, I watched Road to Perdition last night for the 100th time. What a film. I've seen loads of Tom Hanks films. I've not seen that one.
I've never seen Road to Perdition. It's based on a comic book.
Is it?
Yeah, but it's about gangsters, I think.
Do you like Tom Hanks?
Love Tom Hanks. Baz doesn't like him.
Does he not?
Baz doesn't like... I love Tom Hanks.
Loads of people thought he was like Pizzagate.
No, he's amazing. Tom Hanks is amazing.
What's your top 3 Tom Hanks films?
Top 3 are...
Mine's got to be...
Nope, go on.
Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Turner and Hooch.
Yeah.
And then either Big, Castaway, or Captain Phillips.
Okay. In no particular order. Castaway, Apollo 13, and Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that. Unbelievable film. The final battle in that film is just incredible.
That's no particular order. But Tom Hanks, after he made Saving Private Ryan, then went and produced Band of Brothers. And his son's in it. And he was
Colin.
He's in one of the episodes. And Band of Brothers was made 20 years ago. And the talent that's in it, who were all like dead young. So, James McAvoy's in it, dead small role. Tom Hardy's in it, dead small role. Stephen Graham's in it, dead small role. The guy, Andrew Thingyo Scott, is it, who played Moriarty in Doctor Who, and is also in Fleabag, and was in Spectre. He's in it. There's loads. Damian Lewis was the main guy in it. Dick Winters. It's an amazing piece of television. 10 episodes about paratroopers jumping into France on D-Day and then all the way up to the end of the war. It's absolutely incredible piece of television.
What is it on any streaming services?
It's on Sky. It's on Sky.
I've got Sky. I'm going to have to watch
so
this.
I'm watching it. But Roger Bennett, famous Evertonian men in Blazers fame, is doing a podcast at the moment, the official podcast. So I'm watching an episode and listening to his podcast. Amazing. The way to do it.
I'm going to have to watch this. I like Tom Hanks. Colin Hanks is good. He was in King Kong, Colin Hanks.
He was. Not a great actor, but...
Keith Powell says Shatner is 90 years old, isn't he?
He is 90 years old.
Wow.
He's gone to space. He's the oldest man ever to go to space. I hope he didn't shat himself.
Keith Powell says, wasn't it Robert Duvall that was the pilot?
Yeah, in Deep Impact, he was. Deep Impact, it was Robert Duvall, it was. Jon Favreau's in that film as well.
Oh,
who
made
the
director /
made Iron Man.
And Mandalorian.
He did make Mandalorian. He made Chef, which is a great film as well.
Is Favreau doing Obi-Wan series as well?
No.
Oh, who's doing that?
one of the directors from Mandalorian, one of the Deborah Chow, I believe. She directed a couple of the episodes. She's doing it, Deborah Chow, I think.
Put my trust into Deborah.
Get on, fully. Debbie knows what she's doing.
Adam Littleford says best actor, Hanks or DiCaprio.
Oh, I think DiCaprio's a better actor. I think Tom Hanks. Do you know what? Do you know what would be my honourable mention? And it's in both of them. Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah, the detective thing.
I love that is a boss Christmas film. Catch Me If You Can. I love that film. DiCaprio is a better actor. Tom Hanks plays
more recognisable films.
But Tom Hanks plays him. Tom Hanks has got to that position in his career where a lot of great actors get to, where they play the same role in every film. Like, if you were to say, it's slightly different. I don't think
like Splash and Turner and Ooch, it's all the same.
Like, it's like Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds now plays himself, doesn't he, in everything.
Kevin Hart, Rock.
Yeah, they play themselves. I'm not saying they're great actors, by the way. They just play themselves. Tom Hanks is a boss actor, but he plays sort of the same character in everything, just a slightly different. They call him America's dad, essentially. That's what his nickname is, America's dad. Be America's granddad by now. Leonardo DiCaprio, I think, just can play so many different roles that he's amazing at. But Leonardo DiCaprio will eventually just start playing himself in everything, because that's what happens to every actor.
I'd put Johnny Depp up there with DiCaprio and Hanks. And Johnny Depp is
you can't be, you're not allowed to anymore.
He's a great actor. Road to Perdition is a great movie, says Gary Ward.
Brilliant.
I shall do a quick refresh on the Patreon, do some YouTube while we're at it.
By the way, I've got a video out on 888 Sport today. It's a decent video about the most underrated manager. So if you want to go check that out.
Stuart Thompson says, I can't even believe Philadelphia didn't get a mention in your top 3.
Oh, mate, do you know what it is?
So many. You've got Mail as well. There's loads. That was good. Sleepless in Seattle as well. I didn't even say Splash.
Yeah, but if we're talking about the top 3, no, Philadelphia is amazing, and it does make me feel very, very emotional. The only thing, and this might sound weird, the only thing that lets Philadelphia down is that it's not a true story. And I'm weird. I like things like that to be true, because I almost feel like it brings more weight to it. But it's not a true story. If it'd been a true story, I'd be like, oh my God, this is... It's like Castaway. I remember watching Castaway and thinking, this is amazing. And then for a lot of time, people thought that was a true story.
You like to research it after.
People thought that was a true story. And then when people found out it wasn't, I think it's like, you go, yeah, it's just a film. Because it's an amazing film, and it has an amazing set of events. But if they were true, it just adds this little bit of weight to it, right? Same with Philadelphia. You had never seen Philadelphia, have you?
Don't think so.
Right, so basically, he's a lawyer who finds out he's got AIDS, and then suspects that the company he works for fired him because he's got AIDS. Oh, yeah. Right? So when he's going into court, he's getting sicker and sicker, right? Because this is like the 90s, and now AIDS you can treat it so well now that there's tablets that mean you don't pass it to anyone else. Now, if that had been true, there's a weight to that. But when something's written down, the ending is not the same. So it's the same with Castaway. It's amazing and all these amazing things happen. But because it's not true, it doesn't have the weight of like... Because you can write anything, can't you? Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's I still love the film. It was like Captain Phillips, that's a true story.
I remember watching that and I went home, because I watched it in the cinema.
Oh yeah.
Went home and I was like, straight on the old laptop, Googling, researching about the true story.
But of course, and because it's a true story, it's got weight to it, because you go, oh my God, that really happened. True stories will always be better than...
But then sometimes you watch something that's based on a true story and you think, like, wasn't The Perfect Storm based on a true story?
It was. But of course...
They all died.
Of course, you don't know. You have to fill in the blanks. So it's like, if you watch it... I remember watching that and then going, well, hang on. How did he know what he said in the last minute there? But you have to fill in the blanks. Of course, there's a lot of things like that. I'm listening to the Band of Brothers podcast. I'm listening to the director and the writers, and the writers like, well... we knew this happened and we knew that happened, but so I had to put them together in the same scene, but they weren't from the same place. Like, there was a Band of Brothers I watched last night, and at the end they were like, this fella died in 1948. And afterwards this family came up and they were like, no, he never. He died in 1967. He fought in the Korean War. But when they did the thing, the guys who were in it, the book, they swore that they'd gone to his funeral in 1948. His family, no, he didn't. And they made the mistake because there wasn't the internet to fact check it at the time. The guy was still alive till the late 60s. And it's like little thing, when you're doing true stories, you have to rely on people's memories as well for some things. So it can go either way, but I always love something where if it's a true story, because Catch Me If You Can, that's a true story. That guy who DiCaprio played became a very successful fella who the FBI employed, not as a as a third party.
Wall Street, I imagine Wolf of Wall Street. I imagine half of that was rubbish.
That's a true story. And you watch it, and I know a lot of people. I watch that, and it's a good film, but I hate the fella. I hate him. Don't mind.
Have you seen his
Don't mind his wife.
Have you seen his socials in real life?
Yeah.
He's a knobhead, isn't he?
Yeah.
Let's do some YouTubes. Look for some footy ones. Evertonian Luke says, do you think it would be possible for Everton to screen our away games in the fan zone at Bramley Moor, like the 3 o'clock kickoffs in the new stadium, screening it for anyone who can't get away tickets? No. They're not even on the telly.
No, so. Because you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to do that. You could screen games that are on TV because you can do that. And Man City do that. They have a big screen outside, and they did that last season. So that fans could, or the season before, or whatever it was. So fans could be together for when they won the league. So you could put a screen in there, in the fan zone, definitely. But, it's Everton, innit? But you can't put games in a public place for a game that's not on TV.
Wormy Spoon says, surprised it's not called filler here, because Delph was injured.
I mean, fair enough.
Liam Munro says, what about the new Superman being bisexual?
Yeah, he's an alien.
I was going to say he's an alien.
He's an alien. He might fancy Coral, for all I know. It's what it is it's doing what happens all the time, isn't it? It's updating a character, and people go mad when they go, oh, that character's not this or he's not that. Well, when all these people were written, they were written in a world where straight white men wrote them. So they wrote them and drew them as straight white men, right? Because that's all they knew. That's all they knew. They can't write about the life of a gay guy or a bisexual guy or a gay woman. They can't write that because they wouldn't know what that was like, because they can't have that perspective. But also, the world they wrote them in, 50s, 60s, 70s, there isn't that world to write them. Something like Black Panther came in the 70s when they started making when a lot more, like, there was a lot more films for black people, by black people. Shang-Chi came because of Bruce Lee. Because people started seeing a Asian character on TV and in films.
Interesting you say that.
Whatever you say next, make sure,
The Shang-Chi thing is good.
Yeah.
How many Hollywood actors now can you say, well, he was the leading actor of a franchise? Like, I don't know, like a Mark Hamill in your Star Wars, or your Mathew.
Can you get to the point?
What's his name? Michael J. Fox in Back to the Future. How many can you say that about Asian actors?
None, because there's
Bruce Lee.
No, because there's none. There's none. Exactly. There's none because.
So why
because
can't we have
the world works very, very slowly, right? This is how the world works, right? I'll tell you exactly how the world works, right? Someone has an idea, right? And they can't do it because their boss won't let them. But their boss is from the generation before, right? So this is how it always works. So you've got to wait till the person who wants to make that idea becomes the boss before the next person can make it. That's how the world works. So when Marvel first started, they had all dickheads making the decisions, right? They wouldn't let them make Black Panther. They wouldn't let them make Shang-Chi's of the world and all these because they don't sell toys, because that's not the market. The market is white kids from America or the UK or Europe, right? And what happens is you've got to wait till that fella, so Kevin Feige, right, till he becomes the boss. Because he actually knows what's going on. Because he's not his dad. He knows what's going on. And this is how the world works. When anyone wants something, that person's got to wait till they become the boss. So that's why there wasn't any films about women or women superheroes or whatever, because the women never became the boss. So now women are becoming the boss. There'll be more films about women, strong women. So that's why now we're getting all these different things, Shang-Chi's, Black Panther, Captain Marvel. That's how essentially the world works. So in the 70s, you started getting these films based on black films, black actors, black cast. So they decided to make Black Panther because they were basically saying, well, there's a market for it now. Shang-Chi, they went, oh look, these Bruce Lee films are doing well. Let's make a comic book about an Asian fella. But everything always takes time. So for years and years, it would have always been like a white actor, you're right, Michael J. Fox. But then Eddie Murphy came along, and someone went, oh my God, he sells out. And he just doesn't just sell out for black people. White people go and see him. So they made Beverly Hills Cop. Because they were like, oh my God. And then they go, right, well, if he made a film, then we can give another black actor a film. And then because... And what it does, what you've got to have people who are prepared to take chances, but it moves so slowly because you've got to wait for that person to become the boss. Guess what? I've got a boss idea. Can't do nothing. Why? Because my boss is an old white guy. He doesn't want to. That's how the world works. And while those white guys keep on getting into the top roles, nothing changes till someone breaks through. And hopefully now people are starting to break through. So that's why that happens. So
you've opened my eyes.
Well, there you go. Because if your boss is an old white guy and he doesn't see there was a fella who used to run Marvel and he was like, girls don't buy toys. Or he was like at Disney, oh, we don't want girls in Star Wars. Girls don't buy action figures. They buy dolls. Or no one's gonna buy Black Panther. Can't bring a Black Panther film out because black people don't like superhero films and you don't buy toys. What? Can't have an Asian character because who wants to go and watch a film with an Asian guy in? What are you talking about? Put a Marvel thing on it. I'll go and watch a frog. Which is Thor. But, that's how the world works. And until you have people in places of power who represent the population, which means white, black, women, Asian, Middle Eastern, whatever, who understand the value of different things, then the world won't move. That's why the world is what it is. Because it's all white people it's all white people telling black people not to feel bad because racism doesn't really... There you go. I hope I've opened to your eyes.
I feel like I just want to get off my pedal stool and just take a look at the world. I'm going to go home and write a song.
Write a song?
Steve P69 says, thought this was Ned and Cam chat one for a second. Me and Cam don't have any intellectual...
Yeah, I can educate, though. Comment. That's the difference. I can educate.
We just go, do you prefer Mackey's or KFC? On Ned Cam. Things are digging in me back. Let's find some comments. Let's go over to Patreon.
Astros just put a comment on there. Do that.
Everyone's just putting strange things on YouTube. Where are we? Over in Minnesota, even the Polar Express, Tom Hanks seemed like himself.
He
looked like him.
Polar Express is weird though, isn't it? It was made about 3 or 4 years too early. It's so weird that.
I feel like they rushed it because they didn't give the characters names. Band Brothers is a true story, says Degsy. Is it really? Includes
Which true story?
You said, didn't you? Band of Brothers.
Yeah.
You were saying about that fella who died, didn't you? Adam Lilford, best DiCaprio film. I'm a torn lover, but I love Shutter Island. I say Shutter Island.
Oh my God, yeah, boss film. Well, we weren't talking about DiCaprio, were we? But no, Shutter Island's boss, because all the way through it, it's like...
You don't know, do you?
And Mark Ruffalo's good in that as well.
Yeah. AJ No says, whoa, it's Ned. I'm going to have to give him a music quiz 1 minute. All right, we'll shoot them very quickly. Gary Ward says, favourite Hanks movie is Apollo 13. That Thing You Do. Is that the one about the band?
That is good. I like that. That's just come on Disney Plus.
Is he the band manager?
He's the manager. Yeah. So basically, that's a film about... It's the 60s, and it's in the 60s, you had loads of one-hit wonders. But because in the 60s, you had, like, it was all regionalised. So you didn't have, like, MTV, and you didn't have, like, national radio stations or national television as much. A song would enter the charts, the Hot 100, say, in like 90, let's say, or 100, and then you go to another place, and then they'd see you and buy records, and you go to another place. You'd have this one-hit wonder, which might take like the whole summer to get to number one, and a band would just go round the country, dead slowly, one place at a time, and they'd get the whole summer out of it, and then maybe they'd bring out a second song, which would, you know, very quickly. And in the old days, not the old days, that'd be like a cover of someone else. So like maybe something Elvis had done or something. And then because that was a song everyone already knew, and they still had traction off the first song. So you'd have this band that it would take like months and months, and they'd just get this success for months and months. So a manager would come in and manage them and make sure they get the most out of that one song. And then they'd bring out another song, and then the manager go, you're not actually very good. Or the lead singer we'll take him. The rest of you is a crap. And that's basically that film. It's just about that journey of that, and it's really good. And Tom Hanks's production company is called Playtone Productions, and his record label in that is Playtone, and that's where it comes from. I am a font of useless knowledge.
Is Colin in that?
I don't know.
Astro has left a comment. I feel like I already read Astro's comments in his Southern American.
So when Astro talks to me, he always goes,
Toffee TV.
He always goes, Ped.
I gotta tell you.
I gotta tell you, Ped. Always, that's his catchphrase. I got it. So all these catchphrases that he throws out in his videos, that's not his real catchphrase. His real catchphrase is, I gotta tell you.
He says, so, Kurahi.
The hill.
Where Easy Company from Band of Brothers trained is about 45
3 miles up, 3 miles down.
In North Georgia. Also, I met one of the members at the 501st at Normandy. He told me some incredible stories about the guys from the Easy Company. Highlight of my career, reenacting the paratrooper drops over Normandy. Unreal stuff. Happy to chat about Band Brothers with you anytime. His life is just filled off great things.
Nick's just got so many good stories.
Ahmed says, comparing You Got Mail to Saving Private Ryan. Oh no, I didn't compare the two. Saving Private Ryan is miles above. Saving Private Ryan is amazing.
Sleepers in Seattle against Captain Phillips.
Splash versus Forrest Gump. AJ No says, some indie rock songs for Ned. I'm not great with indie rock.
Go on then.
You would keep the secrets in your... I already know that after the first line.
Go on, what is it?
You would keep the secrets in you. You've been keeping perfect in you. Oh, it's Wall of Glass by Liam Gallagher.
There you go.
Number 2, you used to get it in your fishnets. Arctic Monkeys.
Used to get it in your fishnets. Now you only get it in your night dress.
That's kind of what the naughtiness and niceness. What's that? Fluorescent, adolescent, or whatever, however you say it. Number 3, a single book of matches gonna single book of matches. Kings of Leon. Pyro, single book of matches gonna burn. Pyro, Kings of Leon. Number 4, Stop Making the Eyes at Me. That's Arctic Monkeys. Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor. And number 5,
Not making the eyes at you. Not making the eyes at you.
What a Night for a Dance. You know, my dancing machine. What a night. That is Revelry by Kings of Leon.
There you go.
5 out of 5.
There you go. Smashed it.
Rumba de Sosa says, like Annie was white when they remade a black version.
Yeah.
Rumba de Sosa says the true story, original Annie, was based on Ned.
That's not true.
That's not true.
I hate that. What a terrible musical.
I never liked the original. It was creepy. Stuff like that used to creep me out. I used to have a DVD, and it was Annie and BFG, and they both used to creep me out. BFG was really, really weird.
Okay.
Peter Collins says, is there going to be a space at the Bramley-Moore Stadium to facilitate the Everton collection?
I believe there will be somewhere within the stadium, yes. I think there'll be a museum within the stadium. Yeah. We went in the one in Dortmund, and that was really, really good. And they don't have to be massive. So hopefully, yeah. They should be. They should easily be able to figure one into the ground without a problem.
Eugene says, good luck for the Everton women against Manchester City in the FA Women's League Cup tonight.
Yeah, I spoke to Sarah before, and so need to get it on tomorrow.
Tough game.
Yeah. Although City have been crap this year. They drew at the weekend with Man United.
Well, they got knocked out in the Champions League by, was it Madrid? Yeah. And Madrid's women's team aren't very good. So I believe.
Font of knowledge here.
AJ No says, who has the best one-hit wonder? It's got to be Gotcha. If it was a hit, Gotcha. Now you're just somebody that I used to know.
Oh yeah. There's loads. When I was a kid, there was loads of one-hit wonders, like absolutely loads, all the time.
You know what?
It depends though, because there's been like great one-hit wonders from like names of bands. You know, I've got another drink down there. Names of bands, or like dance, and then it's the same people and they just change the name. So like at the moment you've got like Camel Fat, but Camel Fat have done like, didn't they do like, they've done like Pretty Green Eyes as Ultra Beat and stuff like that. There's loads. Anton Powers used to be in Cahill. It was called Cahill because of Tim Cahill. There's loads. Yeah.
I don't believe you.
You don't believe me? Genuinely?
Is that really true?
Yeah, Anton Powers was never Tony.
Is he?
Yeah, and he. So there's a record shop in town called 3 Beat Records. So they started 3 Beat Records.
Is he a DJ
label.
now?
Yeah, he's a DJ. Yeah. You want a stroke?
That must be DJ.
And he had did he put a couple of songs out under the name Cale? And it was because of Tim Cale, because they were Evertonians.
That's incredible. Do you know what music video I watched for the very first time the other day, and it was amazing. Take On Me, but I watched the video, and the video was like a film. Okay.
It is. It's amazing. It was more amazing in 1987 when it came out, but it was amazing. It is amazing. I was spellbound by that because of the story. That was a revolutionary, that video. And in them days, because songs and videos were so connected, that songs would become bigger hits because of the video. Because a video like that would be on MTV or whatever, or like Top of the Pops. And because people were so engrossed by a video, it would get more airtime, and by more airtime, more people. So the same thing, like I said to you before, about what happened with like that the Dingo's film. Same thing would happen on Top of the Pops. If you had a band came in and played, or the video played, then more people would listen would hear the song, then people go out and buy it. So in the old days, a song, some amazing, like you go back and watch old Top of the Pops, like some of the most iconic songs would come in at like number 35, and then every week would just go up and up and up. Don't get me wrong, some songs went straight in, but so many just built slowly and got to number 1 after like 4 weeks. That doesn't happen now, obviously, because it's with different media. We absorb things so much different now. But it was like that. Same thing happened because more eyes. We have instant media now. Someone brings a song out on a Friday, before, like, by 3 hours later, it's done 1 million views on YouTube or whatever. Then it was just so gradual. Top of the Pops, they'd show the video, and then the next week they'd be in the studio because there'd been a huge reaction to it.
They'll start doing music videos in like this now, like not with a phone, but TikTok? Like in this.
TikTok?
Yeah, a resolution or whatever it is, portion.
You don't have to even make music videos anymore because people will make them for you. You bring a song out, People use it on TikTok. People go on TikTok, that's your music video now. You don't even have to bring a music video to anymore.
You know what I've always wondered? Heavy metal was never...
Apologies if you came to watch this show to talk about football.
Heavy metal was... If you watch like a heavy metal music videos, it's very trope that the music videos would be performance videos or just filming the band playing. Always wondered if that's why heavy metal was never... It's big. Of course it's big, but it was never like...
Yeah, but
it
why...
was never like an era of heavy metal.
Why would you spend money, production-wise, right, on a song where people are not going to sit down and watch it on MTV? There's certain genres of music that... Pop is called pop for a reason, right? It's because it crosses over loads of different... There'll be people who love heavy metal, but there'll be some pop music that they'll go, yeah, I love this song. It cuts across all the genres. So therefore, I know loads of people who go, you'll hear all the too cool for school people all the time go, I hate Coldplay, or I hate...
I hate Wonderwall.
You know, or I hate...
Wonderwall's the biggest pop
what's his
anthem
name?
of all time.
What's his name? Sheeran? I'm forgetting his name, he's sitting next to me. People go, I hate Ed Sheeran. I'm not being funny. He's making more money than God. So are Coldplay.
God doesn't need money. But Mackey's.
He does. Right. So Coldplay, people go, I hate them. Why did he sell out stadiums everywhere? Why are they making money all the time? Why are their albums platinum? Why? Because loads of different people like them. And that's where if you have something like heavy metal, you just get a video of them playing the song at a concert or something, or a simulated concert. Because there's no point, because only a certain amount of people are going to watch it. Whereas you used to spend a lot of money on videos. In the 80s, videos were like unbelievable.
Madonna's videos were
because
like a prayer.
That's what got you on the telly. That's what got you in front of people. That's why now it's so expensive to go to a concert. Not because they know they can make loads of money. It's because that's how they make their money now. Because there's no money in it. I found an Oasis ticket the other day from 20 years ago. £30 it was. £30.
200 and something now, if not more.
If Oasis did a concert now, it'd be like £200 a ticket if they reformed. Now, if you want to go and see Fleetwood Mac, it's like 170 quid, isn't it? Madonna would be a fortune, because that's the only place to see them now, to see them live. To see them live.
Well, all the money was made through the record deals and the...
That's all gone. Merchandising and live gigs are now the only way to make money in music.
You don't get anything from your streaming platforms. Everything's a download.
Aye.
Let's do some last few on Patreon. AJ No says, Tainted Love, One Hit Wonder is boss. Video killed the radio star. Would I lie to you?
Buggles.
Video killed
Trevor
the
Horn,
radio star.
Trevor Horn. He produced some of the best songs of the 80s and 90s. Trevor Horn. Unbelievable.
You know, a lot of the world's best movie directors began in making music videos.
He started with adverts and music videos, because music videos were so big in the 80s, and the scope of them was people would go, right, we want you to make a film now, because music videos used to look like mini films. There was so much production.
That's why they learn like the style of like.
But adverts used to be like that as well. In the 80s, adverts on the TV were unbelievable. Like, we used to have adverts which were like you'd have adverts, and there was like a series. Another fella in Ted Lasso who buys the club, who had the club first.
Yeah, it'd give it to his wife.
Right. Well, he started in coffee adverts with this other woman, and you'd want to see the advert because it was like a little mini soap opera. So from week to week, it'd be like, it's this thing of like, will he or won't he? It was the gold blend, I think. And it was like, will he or won't he? And people used to tune in. Some adverts used to have listings in the TV guide. The new advert for this thing is going to be on tonight at this time. Because they were so like Pepsi adverts, when they had Michael Jackson in them, Madonna in them, used to be like these mini versions. Michael Jackson, the start of his downfall started because he was doing an advert for Pepsi, right? True story. He burns his hair. Hair was on fire because he used to put that much spray in it. His hair went on fire, right? And he didn't even know. They had to like put him out. Because what happened was there was like a sparkler thing went off, set fire to his hair, and that's where he started taking drugs, painkillers, and he got addicted to the painkillers, and that was the start of his downfall, because he had burnt hair, and then he started getting into the plastic surgery thing because he felt like he was ugly and all this stuff, and that's where it started on a Pepsi advert.
So Pepsi killed
Pepsi.
The king.
No, they didn't. They didn't. Let's just make that very clear on this public YouTube video. Pepsi didn't do anything to him.
They set him on fire, though.
That's where it started. When Madonna recorded It's a Prayer, and there was all controversy over being a black Jesus, that was in an advert, and that's where it started.
That was like a prayer, wasn't it, with the black Jesus?
Right, come on, quickly, come on.
Well, revealing clothes in that video. Last few on Patreon. Robert Oldfield says, "Are you having a stroke?" AJ No says, "Finally, does heaven have a place on earth?" Or ironic could be one-hit wonders. Ironic, Alanis Morissette. No, she's got a thingy. I don't know.
No, she had that whole album, Jagged Little Pill. Whole album.
Rumi de Sosa says, "Did you put a team out on Ultimate Fan for the internationals?"
Yes.
I had North Macedonia and they won the first game 4-0, and I thought, oh yes.
Yes, we did.
And they lost.
Make sure you download Ultimate Fan, by the way. We're going to be starting an Ultimate Fan podcast as well. Ultimate Team, my Ultimate Team. Astro's actually going to be one of our first guests, recording it with it tomorrow, and then we're going to be picking 6 players, 2 defenders, 2 midfielders and 2 forwards from your best ever Everton team, Ultimate Team, and your ultimate non-Everton team. We're going to start that thing. We're going to record tomorrow, me and Astro, to do that. It's going to be on. So make sure if you haven't, it's in the description. It's either free, $2.99 or $4.99. There's 3 tiers. I did quite well this week actually on that. Not brilliant, but
I didn't do very good at all.
AJ No says, "I'm a huge fan of the band who won the Eurovision. Maneskin. Really want to see them live." Okay. And he also says, "Ped, I paid £120 to see your favourite Elton John." Why did you pay when you could just watch me? Haven't seen without a piece of hey, I hear the hot. I think all that YouTube.
I wonder how much it was to go watch him in Widnes.
Probably £120.
Peter Collins said he went to watch Queen at the Empire in 1978 and it was £3.50.
Would have been. It would have been.
£3.50 was a lot more though.
Yeah, but it wasn't that much more. I mean, it was more, but it's not £200 more. They don't, the economics don't work out. Inflation hasn't gone up that much. But there you go. Any more on YouTube? Go on YouTube for 2 minutes.
Basic Trig says, "No one puts Ned in a corner." That's true. I will swift kick you. Andrew Cunningham says, "Ridley Scott directed the classic Hovis ad." Hovis ad.
Hovis.
I'll have to watch this.
Dingo done, who was the other one? He was in Concorde, a British Airways advert in the 80s as well. It was an epic scale. Who was it who's done that? It might have been his brother, actually. It might have been Tony Scott. Who died. Killed himself, jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge, I think.
Oh, that's
loads of them started doing that. Loads of them started with, Ridley Scott did adverts, and there you go.
Tommy says, "Mel Gibson knows all what about goes on in film world concerning Tom_Gaze." Oh, I've seen those interviews.
Do you know sometimes
like,
you should read a comment before you read that with your head before you read it out?
I've seen some of these interviews. I think they're nonsense.
Fair enough.
I think it's all nonsense. Wormy Spoon says, "That Aussie fool, mysterious girl, Peter Andre. Is that a one-hit wonder?"
Yeah, basically. Well, he had more songs.
He's a star, though.
None of them were ever. Tell you what was the biggest. I'd say what the biggest one-hit wonder I think in the last few years was what's his name? Song "I Am the One and Only."
Chesney Hawkes.
Chesney Hawkes. That was a huge one-hit wonder. He really didn't do anything after that.
Hawkes. I couldn't tell you any other Chesney Hawkes songs.
He was in a film. As well, which didn't do anything. Thingo played his dad in it.
Is he related to Tony Hawk's?
Thingo from The Who. Daltrey's in it. I hate now. He's a
massive.
Bell end.
I used to love The Who,
and
then I found out some stuff about Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey. And all I'll say is, show me the book.
Show me the book. Right, go on. Show me
I'm just
the
looking
book.
at. I've already read some of these. Comments.
Right, we'll finish. Thank you for joining us tonight. We'll be back tomorrow on Patreon. So join us on Patreon if you want more videos, because it's boss over there. Genuinely have an amazing community. So get over there. Thank you for watching. See you later.